Hey everyone, welcome back to another Godzilla Battling video, and today is the day that most of the players, especially the players who have bought the Battle Pass, will be unlocking Godzilla Earth. So congratulations to everyone that unlocked him today. I'm one of you guys, so I finally got him. With that being said, I want to show you guys some of the best decks that are being thrown around on Discord and on Facebook, wherever, for Godzilla Earth. So I want to go over a few things before I get into these builds. 1. Godzilla Earth is not a plug-and-play unit. He is not a King Caesar. He is not a Mega Gearus. He is not a King Ghidorah. You cannot just throw him into any deck and he is viable. You have to build around him, and it has to do with his 9 energy cost. So, outside of his 9 energy cost, what else does he have going for him, right? Because that's a pretty negative. Godzilla Earth has probably the most health in the game, right? He starts off with actually not probably, he does. He starts off with 1.4 thousand health at level 1. This means that at level 1, it's going to take a level 4 G54 3 hits to kill him. And G54 does a lot of damage. It's for like 500 and something damage level 4. Alternatively, Kiryu is doing like 501 damage at level 10. Right? So level 10 Kiryu is going to struggle against level 1 Godzilla Earth. So it's really matchup dependent who's going to run through him or not. Obviously, G89 is going to, no sweat run through a low level one of these guys, right? But at level 4, level 5, Godzilla Earth, whatever you call him, is going to have like 4,000 something health in the low 4,000s. That is an insane number. This high amount of health makes him extremely viable very early on in the game. Not many 4 stars are viable or meta at low levels. He has so much health that it doesn't even matter. And a theme with these decks that I'm going to show you is most of them basically make him unkillable. Next, I want to go over some of his abilities because it's going to come into play later. Obviously, he has a ton of health, right? He doesn't do too much damage, and his attack speed is 5 seconds, which is 1 second longer than Marker-Light Cannon. However, he has long range. He can benefit from a Biollante buff. He does piercing damage, like Ghidorah, so when he shoots in a straight line, anything behind wherever his initial target is going to also get hit. And he's immune to stun, so Manila, Emboss, they can't stop him, right? You can't stun lock this guy. You can't do the exploit for a permanent stun lock. He's just going to run right through it. Also, when Godzilla Earth falls below 33 or at or below 33% health, his health bar is going to flash. This indicates that he is giving himself a 50% damage buff. Now, it is not confirmed, but it is very likely that this self buff is not the same kind of buff that Battra or Space Godzilla can give him. Thus, meaning, just like Psychic Chorus and Mothra, you may possibly be able to stack damage buffs on Godzilla Earth. Now, this actually, if true, would be massive, right? Absolutely massive to get maybe a 70% boost somehow on him. So, with that being said, those are the pros and cons of him. I'm a really big fan of him. Mine's level 2. Let's get right into some of these decks. So I'm going to go from the decks that I think are the least viable to the decks that I think are the most viable. So let's start with the first one. This is a Gigan deck, so you can see on the right-hand side of the screen. I don't think I need to explain to you guys the gist of Gigan decks. You're basically going to use Gigan's ability to rush Godzilla Earth to the other side of the field. Psychic Chorus is here to make him, give him more health, keep him alive a little bit longer. The whole point of Earth decks is to have him be eating up the damage. Something I didn't include in the previous section of this video, but I'm going to include now, is he takes up 4 tiles on the board, right? When you drop him, or drop any unit that takes up 1 square, like I just play Super X Biollante on the screen, takes up 1. When you place Earth, he takes up 4. So he's definitely pulling in a majority of the aggro from the other team, so you're going to want to keep him alive. That's what the Psychic Chorus is for. But you also need to support him. That's what Anguirus is for, and Biollante and Battra are pretty meta around the board, standard in any deck. They're going to help your team out a lot. Manila, long range stun, really cheap, and then energy based because you want to make sure you're getting these units out on the board. This, I think, is the least viable of the decks, although it is incredibly fun to watch Gigan send Earth up and he just waddles his way up the board. So, decent deck. You can try this out. Obviously, I don't think this one is meta, and I think you can totally fix this one up a little bit better than I did, but this is what's working for me using Gigan as my leader. Next, this is a Biollante Leader deck. Biollante Leader decks ran the meta a few months ago. However, she's really, really good on the field as a unit, so I don't normally advocate for her as a leader at this stage in the game. However, every single unit in this deck, except for Kamacuras, they are ranged units. So Earth, Battra, Ultima, and Manila all have long range. There is the energy base, which you can use to get more energy fast, and then, like, again, Psychic Cores to keep Godzilla or I guess both Godzillas healthy. Kamacuras is there to just eat up damage. However, I believe in this deck you can flex out the Kamacuras or the energy base, maybe for something low on the field, like something low like a Freezing Sunday or something, because, you know, Ultima and Earth are already kind of high cost at 6 and 9, but 4 cost, 2 cost, and 3 cost, or 4 cost, and then the 2 cost, and then the 3 cost, and then, you know, Battra evolves into a 5. You can fast cycle some of these units out to get Earth back up, to get Ultima up again. So this deck, well, I think is good, and I have gotten 2 or 3 wins with it today. I don't believe that this is an optimal deck either. I think it's a good deck though if you want to try it out. Maybe you have better luck than I did, but I'm not really feeling this deck, but I think it's worth mentioning. All right, now we're gonna get into the like more important decks, the better deck. So this deck is not my original creation. This is ripped from Stagathy's deck, and he has a level 5 Godzilla Earth. So the crux with this deck is you drop Battra, right? Because in Battra's place, you're putting Space Godzilla for 1 more energy. Space Godzilla every 9 seconds is going to spawn a pair of crystals that if your allies are caught in their field, gives them a 25% damage boost. So every 9 seconds, you're getting a boost that's 5% less than the Battra boost. That's pretty solid. And Space Godzilla is seeing a lot more play recently. Not because his crystals got a health buff recently, but because he's been in the game for a long time. A lot of people are getting him at high levels. He's becoming a little bit more usable again. So basically what you want to do is put him with Earth to buff Earth's attack constantly. The Mothra heal and Psychic Cores buff, we have a video talking about that already on this channel, how you can merge the 2 buffs together and, you know, just do an insane amount of healing. That's going to be really good for keeping Earth and Space Godzilla alive. Energy base, like in the other decks, you got to get Earth out. He's 9 cost, and basically his helper is going to be 6, so energy base is going to help you a lot. And then Biollante's 3 cost, Manila's 2 cost, and the Psychic Chorus is 3, and then you have Super X for long range damage. This deck does a decent amount of damage, but you really want to use your heals to keep everyone alive, keep those buffs up, keep your team healthy, because he's just going to run through your team, right? It's really hard to take down Earth in the first place. Like I said, a level 10 Kiryu is going to struggle, right? So making sure that you're keeping your Earth fat and healthy and big, especially if your Earth, you know, this might not work for level 1 Earth, but level 5 Earth with 4,000 health, that is an insane amount of health. So keeping that up as much as you can, keeping that on the rise and healthy, you basically are making yourself an unkillable wall with Earth. So that is the Mothra Leader and Space Godzilla version. So this next one is built by Spentzilla, also in the Discord, frequent member of streams as well. Like, again, like the last one, this is a Mothra deck with Psychic Chorus. However, we drop Space Godzilla for Battra. Battra's going to give you a 50% buff on the field. So this is, you know, this is just basically the same deck, but with different means of buffs. But they both play differently. The Space Godzilla one, I think, is a little bit more defensive because you have to build around Space Godzilla. This one, it looks to be a little bit more aggressive because you can do big pushes with Biollante and Battra next to Earth, and then Super X and Manila hitting from the back. So this is, the 2 Mothra decks are probably the best versions you could possibly be running with Earth at this stage. So I should mention and make note that right now in the game, things are subject to change. We don't know what the March unit is going to be, and the March unit may actually be an amazing boost to Godzilla Earth, or it could be a counter. But at the time of recording, these decks are working really well with high-level Earths, right? You can put a level 1 Earth on your team, level 2 Earth on your team, and a lot of people in my Discord aren't seeing such amazing results with them, but level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Earths, you are going to be unstoppable. My message to newer players who are watching this video, if you join Battleline for the first time and you are made it this much into the video because you want to learn how to use Earth, put them in your deck. There are no monsters at a low level aside from G89 and like G21 and Biollante or Battra in the water, Biollante in the water, Battra with her buff. That will take down Earth quite as well as them. Earth is going to be really powerful, and if you can keep him alive, you can basically make an unkillable wall at the lower levels, especially with level 3 Earth if you have the G-Stones or you got lucky in your pulls. So, newer players, this might be meta for you. I'm not in the lower ranks, so I don't really know. I'm only in the higher ranks. That being said, some counters to Godzilla Earth to be aware of are Godzilla 1954. He can 3-shot level 1 ones, but Earth will eventually outscale his damage, right? Godzilla 89, easy to level up, always is one of the more powerful units to use. And then Godzilla 21, he can run through Earth's health really, really fast. However, a lot of new players won't have Earth or Godzilla 21 because he's no longer available to obtain. So, with that being said, those were the 4 decks that I think are probably the best to use Earth and the best that you could be running with him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Let me know in Discord if you guys have a better deck. There are a few other options you could run with him. Fire Rodan is a really good alternate option as well if you want to try to utilize him because his healing is really solid. But with that being said, let me know what you think of this deck. Let me know if you're having any success with him, and let me know what level your Godzilla Earth is. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.